Hi, I'm Elaine Fraze, coming to you from my farmhouse in southwestern Manitoba. And today's video is about Mindswitch. Mindswitch is the company of my friend Scott Armstrong, who's written an amazing little pamphlet called Guiding You into Retirement. And I told Scott retirement doesn't really work for farmers. They more prefer stepping back without stepping away, or maybe even reinvention. And the reason I'm standing in front of this amusing painting is this painting was done by my friend Jan Lay, and it's poplar and aspen trees in her backyard in Russell, Manitoba. Jan Lay, LAYH.com is her website, and you can find her on Instagram. But the reason the painting's behind me is because one of Scott's mindset shifts is to think about what are the roles that you want to continue as you age and which are the ones you want to let go of. And for farmers, it's important to understand that there's 3 stages. So I just entered 65 last year. I'm about to enter 66. But the first stage is 65 to 75. The second stage is 75 to 85. And the third stage is 85 to 95. So I'm curious what stage your family is in, your father, your grandparents, your mom, your aunts and uncles that you might be in business with. Because it really is important to pay attention to what age you are. So first of all, Scott talks about, and I talk about in this blog, about your roles. Which ones are working for you? Which ones do you want to hang on to? And which ones do you want to let go of? The second thing is, how much passion do you have? And quite often as coaches, we ask, how much gas do you have left in the tank? And right now, our guys are out combining corn. We have 300 acres left, and hopefully by the time this goes to print at the end of the week, we will be done our harvest of 2022. On a scale of 1 to 10, my husband is probably still a 7 or an 8. And that's a very good measurement to use when you're asking someone to quantify how they're feeling about something. So maybe you want to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being super passionate, where do you fall right now on your passion for continuing to farm? Another thing as we reinvent ourselves as we get older in farms and age in place is to think about, are your spouses aligned? I'm coming to you as Elaine Fraze, Farm Family Coach. I'm going to be going to Denver this weekend to speak to young dairy farmers. And I'm really excited about that because that means that in-person events are starting to open up again. And speaking is my jam. I love to be in front of an audience, and I love to encourage and empower and give practical tools. And I've had lots of practice over the last couple of years in front of you with this video. So thanks for watching. The other thing that's important, though, is that if the spouses are not aligned, then you're going to be really stuck and you're really not going to go anywhere. So if you're watching this as the next gen, one of the things you might like to figure out is, are your parents or are the founders of your business aligned with the passion that they have, the roles they want to play going forward? Because it doesn't work when one spouse is still gung-ho and still wanting to do the adventure of farming, and the other spouse is saying, I'm done. I'm ready to move on to something else, have a different location, and have more downtime and spend more time with my grandkids. So there's lots of things that you need to figure out. And the other thing with Mindswitch is the work that Scott does is he challenges the status quo, because he used to run a wildlife business where they would rescue animals or exotic pets and help people take care of those things. So he's done a lot of really interesting things in his life. All of this to say that adventure is also an important part. So I like this backdrop for me today because my husband and I now have e-bikes. I just got mine recently. He got his in the spring. Mine, for some reason, got stuck and held up. But we've had lots of fun touring the Turtle Mountains, where we can go on trails, ski trails, hiking trails, paved trails, campground trails. We've even been to the Peace Gardens, and we came across the border with our passports. That was pretty exciting. So we're embracing that as a form of adventure. And Wes also finds that e-bike's great for checking the field. So who knew? Maybe you could write it off as a farm piece of equipment. Don't know. Adventure is important. We all need something to look forward to. And if anything has been taught to us by the adventure of what I call the Great Pause since the spring of 2020, I listened to a speaker today who said, you know what? I have an addiction to people. And you know what? So do I. I really love seeing people, being with people, being energized by people. So perhaps I want to have some adventures on my own with a group of girlfriends. And where is it written that Wes and I have to do holidays together? That, again, is a mindset shift. So the other thing is vitality. I'm working with a trainer to get stronger so that I can heft suitcases back into the top bunk of airplanes. I want to lose weight and be healthier, and so I didn't just talk about it. I joined Noom, and I got myself a trainer that I meet with virtually online about once a month, and I text him for accountability. So what do you need to do for vitality, and then how are you going to afford to do all these things that you would like to do as you reinvent yourself, as you age in place on your farm? So there's a lot of things to think about. I've given you some practical tools, and you can read more in the blog. I'd love to hear from you as to what your challenges and struggles are. We have a great coaching team to help you with your farm transition planning. And as a farm family executive leadership coach from the Hudson Institute, I'm also happy to talk to you about how you might want to be more intentional on how you have fun on your farm. So thanks for joining us, and I hope you have a great November and get things tucked away so that you feel ready for the next season of your life. Find Scott Armstrong at mindswitch.ca, or just read the blog and you'll find out more. Talk to you soon.